I want to talk a little bit about perception. When perception works well, when it helps us jump to conclusions that take us from point A to point Z very quickly, and we're ahead of the next guy. But where perceptions do not do us a service to us is when we jump to those conclusions with the little bits of data that we had, and now we've made a decision or made an action, and now it wasn't the right thing. But with that said, the perceptions themselves actually help us in most of our day. And that can be very, very key along with our perspective of who we are. So I do have the advantage of traveling. I've traveled around the United States and Europe, and I love to go into bookstores. And the one thing I've noticed, no matter where bookstore you go to, there's a section called self-help. It's probably a multi-billion-dollar industry between seminars and books. And I can save you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. Every self-help book pretty much says you've got to start with understanding yourself. Whether it's divorce, whether it's losing weight, whether it's going through a job change, no matter what the event is, it's going to start with understanding yourself. So that's going to be the basis, and that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today. The second step of that is understanding others. Once I understand myself, I look to the other person and I go, oh, they're not weird. Or they're not evil, hopefully. Maybe it's just me and my reactions. Maybe I think different. Maybe I process differently. And so by understanding a little bit about yourself, we're going to understand about others. And the third step to your personal effectiveness framework is adapting, connecting. If I can take this a small step toward someone else and understand where they're coming from and adapt to them and connect with them, you're going to get so much more in return. Which then gives you your last step of your personal effectiveness framework, which is taking thoughtful action. So now I don't just run around through the day without just, thinking about the other person. I'm actually taking some time to say, John might require an email with details. Lori, hey, let's do something tomorrow. Go. Now I can take some thoughtful action because I'm now thinking about what the other person is doing. What do you guys see on the screen?
I see a cube.
A cube.
Okay.
And dots.
And dots. Okay.
Cubes and dots.
Peace signs, says the hippie. Anything else?
Arrows.
Arrows. Okay. It's all about your perspective. Depending on where you're coming from, it's your perspective. In some cases, you see a cube and you say, yeah, I can see where there's a cube there. And some, depending on your frame of mind and your perspective, would say that there are 9 dots there, and the absence of those lines has created a cube, and therefore the cube is there. That's a philosophy class. Some would say no, they're very practical and say there are 9 dots there, and I think Tracy just saw the cube. And there are 9 dots there, and the lines are gone, and yes, it may form the pattern of a cube, but still there really isn't a cube there. All right, so let's do another exercise. Loud and proud, what does this word say?
Silk.
Spell the word.
S-I-L-K.
One more time, say it.
Silk.
What do cows drink?
Milk. Wrong.
I picked you guys, I thought you guys were the intelligent crowd. That's that perceptions jumping to conclusions where it may do us a disservice. Now, I set you up a little bit because I actually put in your mind the word silk. You thought I was going to go somewhere else, and so you jumped to the conclusion of milk. But cows don't drink milk, right? There's always one person in the crowd, I know someone's thinking this, who says, baby cows drink milk. But I didn't say baby cows, right? So that's that jumping to conclusion. That's our perceptions. And it works sometimes. Sometimes we can do that and we go, I know where we're going next. And there's times when we do that and we go, I know we're going next, and so no, we're not. Turn here. And everybody else is turn right, and you're turning left. Okay? Excellent.